This summer, Tottenham will evaluate competing offers from Arsenal and Chelsea to acquire Nico Williams, a winger for Athletic Bilbao. The 21-year-old striker signed a new 3-year deal in December in the Basque Country, although his £43 million release clause is still in place. Williams' contract was originally scheduled to expire at the end of June, but Athletic Club can now avoid losing their highly sought-after forward to another team on a free transfer. But with Arsenal and Chelsea already actively scouting the player, who just helped his team advance to the Copa del Rey final by thrashing Atletico Madrid 4-0 on aggregate, he might swiftly become one of the biggest transfer stories of the summer. Both in the summer of last year and in January of the previous year, Aston Villa made attempts to sign the Spain international, but Williams was hesitant to leave San Mamés even though Villa wanted to fulfill his release clause. In June of last year, Unai Emery even took a plane to the Basque Country to have private meetings with Williams in a hotel, but the young player graciously turned down the opportunity to go to the Midlands and chose to remain in his current location. It should be mentioned, though, that if Villa can guarantee Champions League football the next season and Emery's team continues to perform above expectations, they might prove to be a simpler sell this time around. However, given that Villa just disclosed a loss of somewhat less than £120 million for 2023 and that Emery hinted at a potential need for the team to sell before buying, finances could be tight this summer, although Chelsea will need to exercise caution about PSR regulations following their announcement of pre-tax losses of £90 million for 2022 to 2023. Real Madrid, who had also been keeping an eye on Williams' contract issue, is now anticipated to compete with the top 3 teams in London for his signature. Spurs will have more leeway in the transfer market, as Rafinha of Barcelona. Following disagreements over midfield selection, Wayne Rooney, Joleon Lescott, and Rio Ferdinand have announced their United England 11 for Euro 2024. The three were given the duty of selecting a combined England starting 11 for Saturday's Man United vs Everton match on Sky Sports. They ultimately decided to use a 4-3-3 system, with Jordan Pickford starting in goal. It was also decided upon a back four consisting of Kyle Walker, John Stones, Harry Maguire, and Luke Shaw. When it came to the midfield three, Rooney and Ferdinand couldn't agree, so they ultimately decided on a lineup consisting of Jude Bellingham, Declan Rice, and Phil Foden. Harry Kane, Marcus Rashford, and Bukayo Saka made up the front three, while Rooney and Ferdinand made light of their argument in midfield. Ferdinand remarked, "That team makes it to the final. It depends who you are playing, and against a top team, who would be concerned about that midfield," retorted Rooney. "It'll be overly exposed." Declan Rice is left on his own in midfield, despite the fact that Foden and Bellingham play with a freedom that would worry any club in Europe. Rio has been doing TV for a long time because of this. In response to the attack, Ferdinand made a strong argument for Rashford by saying, "On the left, I would go Rashford. He gives off the impression that he is headed straight home and that he has confidence." Rooney concurred. But he also acknowledged that Jack Grealish needed to be taken into account. "England has a gifted offensive line. We haven't even brought up Grealish," he remarked. "Marcus is a menace and plays a different style for England, therefore that's why I would choose him. It fits him better." Anthony Gordon of Newcastle should be in Gareth Southgate's plans, Ferdinand insisted, but he is unsure if the winger would even be included in the group. "I would take Gordon," he declared. "He isn't on a squad yet, though. In addition, he has put himself in a position to move forward." In their closing remarks, Ferdinand and Rooney predicted that England, who they felt had a fantastic team, will do well in the tournament. "We have one of the strongest squads," Rooney said in closing. "We've been close, maybe we can extend our relationship even farther. It's probably Gareth's last chance, so I hope he takes it, but I think it will be tough. It becomes problematic if you play Foden or Bellingham in positions where they don't perform well," Ferdinand went on. "Great players usually manage to make it work. The only threat we seem to have is France. Their quality and depth are comparable to ours. The Premier League goal mania shows no signs of abating. 46 out of the 60 Premier League games played in the last 60 games, or 76% of the games, have gone beyond 2.5 goals. Since 92% of the last 60 games have gone over 1.5 goals, even those who are betting on the over 1.5 goals lines at short odds will win. This period's average goals per game is 3.70. Furthermore, I believe that the market misinterprets the goal line in these bottom-of-the-barrel contests. It is becoming increasingly evident that these games between relegation rivals are generating more attacking intent than the bookmakers are being told by the predicted models. This season, there have been 27 games including Sheffield United, Luton, Burnley, Nottingham Forest, Crystal Palace, Everton, and Brentford. The overall goal average of these games has been 3.07, which is typically higher than the market expectation of tense and competitive matches. Furthermore, 4 goals or more have been scored in 41% of the 27 games. Add to that Luton's recent style shift, which has resulted in 41 goals in the team's previous 9 Premier League games, average of 4.5 goals per game, 7 of which have gone over 3.5 goals. I'll bet on both sides to score and over 2.5 goals, which is oddly coming out at odds against at 6-5 with Sky Bet. Enormous.